Welcome to BBOLD Radio. This is your host, Dymeata B, and you're listening to episode number 161. Before we get into the podcast, I just want to thank every listener, everyone who has dedicated their time to listen to the podcast every week. And I created this podcast to empower not just women, but anybody who decides to click play on this show. I don't take it lightly. This show is created to help develop you and help grow you and stretch you and make you think, And so I want to talk about a subject about growth, how we outgrow people. And that's okay. Now, listen, I know for me, I had these pair of jeans, y'all, in 2016, really before that, but 2016, 2017, y'all, I was a gym fool. Like I was always what they call it, a gym rat. I was always in the freaking gym. I was always in the gym. I would do 2-a-days, like have 2-a-day Tuesdays. My girls were in dance. So after school, I would take them home, feed them, after school meal, and then take them right to dance class. And while they were at dance class, I would go back to the gym because I would go early in the morning after I dropped them off at school. And then I would go back again in the evening. And so I just really was dedicated and really addicted to working out. I love the way it makes me feel. And I love the results. Of course, everybody loves the results, but I love the way it would make me feel after I left the gym. So that was I'll say I started my weight loss journey in 2014, but I really everything kicked in 2015, 2016, and then 2017, I got pregnant. Now, before I got pregnant, y'all, I was literally in a size 7. I was in a 7. Strong, comfortable. I was in a 7 and I was loving it. I mean, loving it. And got pregnant. I didn't gain a lot of weight. I was all stomach when I had my youngest daughter. And after I had her, I lost all of the baby weight, right? So I was able to fit back into those jeans. And then boom, out of nowhere, I began to have postpartum weight gain. And sure enough, I was turning 40 and all of the things were happening between postpartum and perimenopause. The journey had begun. And y'all, the jeans that I was wearing that were a size 7, I was holding on to those jeans because in my head, I'm getting back in these jeans. I don't care what nobody says. I'm getting back in these size 7 jeans. And I kept those jeans, y'all, forever. Matter of fact, I was still living in Indiana and brought them to Charlotte, North Carolina when we moved. I packed them up because I'm wearing these jeans. So fast forward, I had gained weight and I was in a size 12. I was in a size 12 and that was the largest I had been. That was the biggest size that I had been in. And for me in my mind, I was still holding on to certain clothes because I felt like I am going to fit back into this size 7. I don't care what nobody say. And I was wearing some 6s at one point as well. And I tried those pants on, y'all. And jeans don't necessarily stretch and they seem like they shrink once you wash them. But I attempted to get into these size 7 jeans before while I was spring cleaning, and I couldn't, of course. One thigh was uncomfortable. I couldn't even get both my hips in the jeans. It was terrible. I ain't gonna lie. It was terrible. And I had a lot of inflammation and not to go so deep into it. I just outgrew them. And so while I was preparing for this podcast, I started to think about how we outgrow people, we outgrow shoes, we outgrow jeans. And I was trying to still fit into those pair of jeans, it was uncomfortable and it was a lot of pain and unnecessary pressure. I was putting myself through unnecessary pressure trying to fit into something that I had outgrown. And that's what I want to talk about today, because many of us have outgrown some relationships, outgrown family relationships, outgrown seasons, and we're still trying to stay in that season. And the truth of the matter is you have outgrown them, and that is okay. And do you know that growth changes you? When you grow, you change. Do you understand? When you grow, you change. Not your heart, but your capacity. Not your values, but your tolerance. And see, the hardest part about growth is realizing that everyone just can't come with you. Everyone can't come with you. And to be real personal, relocating to another city or another state, I mean, literally picking up our whole lives and moving from where we were comfortable. I really expected all of my relationships that I had with certain people back home to remain the same. People that I went to church with, people that, I knew back when, like in school, I expected to still have those relationships. But the truth of the matter was, I outgrew them. I outgrew them. And I was trying to keep old seasons and hold on to old seasons. And it was making me frustrated. I was frustrated and I felt uncomfortable. It felt awkward and it was a strain. And these people aren't bad people that you outgrow. It's not that. I just think that sometimes they become comfortable where you have become uncomfortable. They become comfortable and they continue to just remain the same. Some people, only like the version of you that overgave. Some people like the version of you that gossiped all the time. Some people like the version of you that consistently, you know, was depressed and was always talking about what you didn't have and always complaining about your marriage. And some people like the old version of you. Some people benefited from the version of you that didn't have boundaries. Do you know how many people was happy and comfortable and you didn't bump heads with them when you didn't have any boundaries? Some people don't recognize you now because you finally chose to grow. You chose yourself. Some of you chose to put up healthy boundaries. And that doesn't make you a bad person or make you wrong. It's just a part of life. You have to outgrow some people. You have to outgrow some seasons in order to move forward, in order to expand, in order for God to expand your capacity. Some things just can't go. And that's reality of it. The Bible says, forget the former things. We have to let go of some former things in our lives in order for God to do a new thing in our life. We can't stop or we can't step into like the newness of what God is trying to do when we're clinging to what's familiar, when we're clinging to what's comfortable. So you got to learn that outgrowing people is not mean. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you, fake. It doesn't make you better than anybody. It don't even mean you hate the person or dislike the people. There's some people that I don't talk to anymore. I don't have any bad blood with them. It's just we are on two different paths. Like we can still say hey and speak and be cordial, but the conversations are going to be different because I've outgrown them. And there are some people that have outgrown me. You know what I mean? So I just want you to know today that you don't have to feel bad about outgrowing seasons, relationships, people. I don't care. In family, there are some I was just having a conversation with someone and we were come to find out he's from Chicago. And of course, I'm from Indiana. And he's familiar with where I'm from. And I'm familiar, from the area where he's from. And I was telling him about how my husband moved to Indiana. And we stayed there after we got married and raised our family there. And we felt like we were literally dying in an old season. We had outgrown an old season and nothing was growing. Like imagine trying to plant on the wrong soil, sow seeds on the wrong soil. You're on the wrong soil and nothing's going to grow where God has called you to move away from. That doesn't mean my city is bad. That doesn't mean people are bad in my city. It's just a part of life. And some people are called to move, to outgrow, to switch seasons. And some people stay in the season. Some people still dress like it's wintertime. They still dress like that in the summertime. I know people right now and they be hot and you're sweating and then it stinks. Some people don't even know how to pivot or adjust to a new season. So they stay dormant. They stay comfortable. They stay stuck in neutral. And so you have to make a decision for yourself. This will not be me, not for me and my family. God, I want something fresh in my life. I want you to do the new thing that you promised me. But God said, in order for me to do the new thing, I'm going to need you to let go of the old thing. I had to let go of the size 7 and allow God to do the new work in me. And in fact, there's parts and proportions of my body that I didn't have when I was in a size 7. And I love the proportions in the size that I am right now, And so sometimes if you still holding on to what was, you can never have what God really has for you. And what he gives you in the next season is always better. It's always better than what you had in the last season. What the people you outgrow, the people that you outgrow and you say, listen, this ain't working no more. We can't talk on the phone all the time gossiping no more. We're not talking about nothing. I can't keep wasting my time talking about the past and history and memories. And once you make a decision to walk away from what you've outgrown, watch how God begins to enlarge your capacity and bring people in your life that will not only edify you, but they'll be able to pour into you, and you'll grow and you'll be inspired by them, and you're not always the one pouring. All right, that's it. Until next time, continue to believe, be original, and live your dreams. See you in the next episode.